A popular Rockford restaurant adds another location in the heart of downtown, bringing some variety to the local food scene. This morning, Green Lite held a ribbon cutting ceremony in the food court of the Stewart Center, taking over a vacant space that investors say hasn't been occupied for quite some time.
Customer asked if we can open a location which closer to where they stay, and we believe the downtown is a great place to stay and can offer a lot of people work around here. So therefore, we can give them more choice to have a new lunch. So.